Hello, No More Hero 7 here, and today I have another Pokemon Showdown double battle. The opponent I'm facing has something interesting. He uses an all-starter team. Anyways, I'm gonna show you the battle. So he leads off with his Empoleon and his Superior, while I lead off with my Meowstic and my Klefki. I go for the Thunder Wave on Empoleon, and I use Klefki to set up the light screens, while he also sets up the light screens and the Stealth Rock. I go for a substitute on Meowstic, and I also use a Reflect on Klefki, while he also sets up his Reflect. He uses Roar and drags out my Kangaskhan, and I get the leftover recoveries from Meowstic. I go for a Helping Hand on Kangaskhan and Mega Evolve Kangaskhan. Goes for a Dragon Pulse, but it didn't break my sub. I go for a Power Up Punch and get a crit, and so I can get times 2 attack bonus. And his Empoleon got paralyzed, so yeah, he cannot move. I go for another Helping Hand on the Kangaskhan, while he goes for a Giga Drain on Kangaskhan, and I go for another Power Up Punch, so I can just take out his Empoleon and at the same time get a times 3 bonus in attack. He goes for a Charizard, and I didn't expect this. He Mega Evolves his Charizard to Charizard X, which is unlikely since most of the time I've seen Charizard Y. Anyways, I knocked him out with Return, and he sent out his Infernape. Here's where I made a mistake. I thought he didn't have Mach Punch, but who wouldn't? I go for a Sucker Punch, and that, yeah, obviously didn't work. And he goes for the Giga Drain on my Kangaskhan. He takes out my Kangaskhan, while I use my Meowstic to go for a T-Wave on his Infernape, and goes for the Giga Drain and breaks my sub. So now I send out my Klefki. I go for another substitute, and I go for a Toxic. He goes for a Giga Drain, but my sub didn't break. He goes for a Flare Blitz and did a lot of damage. So I get the leftover recovery, and both of our light screens are off. I use Klefki to set up a live screen. He goes for a Mach Punch, but my Klefki lived. He gets to the Giga Drain and breaks my sub. I go for a Dark Pulse, and obviously it didn't work. So now both of our Reflects are off. I go for another substitute while I set up a Reflect. He goes for a Mach Punch and finishes off my Klefki, while my opponent goes for a Giga Drain, and it didn't break my sub, so I get a leftover recovery while he's getting damage from Toxic. So now I send off my Breloom, I go for a Helping Hand, and use Mach Punch so I can finish off his Infernape. He goes for a Reflect, while I get the leftovers recovery, while he was still damaged by Toxic. So now I go for a Thunder Wave on his Feraligatr, goes for a Dragon Pulse and gets a crit on my Breloom. His Feraligatr was paralyzed, so now I go for a Bullet Seed. Unfortunately, it didn't get a knockout because it only hit 3 times. So I decided to protect just to, Toxic stall his Superior. And I used my Meowstic to use Dark Pulse and knock out his Feraligatr. So now both of his Pokemons are knocked out. He sends out his Sceptile. I go for a Thunder Wave on the Sceptile, and I use Mach Punch on the Sceptile. And he goes for the Hidden Power Ice, and he was able to get the knockout. So now I have leftovers recovery, and my opponent just forfeits right here. So if you like the video, be sure to subscribe, and have a good day.